Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here. And today we're back with the Whip and Chat. Whip stands for work in progress. So get out whatever that is for you. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now, because Lord knows I got them. So I hope everybody had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Hopefully you guys are thawing out from all this cold weather. Y'all, I've been dying laughing at these videos on Instagram and stuff of the people in Oregon because they got all that ice. Look, if you live in Oregon, please stay safe. Please, please, please be careful walking on that ice. It ain't no joke. And these bodies ain't getting any younger, okay? So, I've been watching a lot of those videos, just seeing what other parts of the world are looking like right now with all this cold weather. And it's not a good sight. It's not a good sight. And everybody keeps messaging me and telling me to get my weather and put it back. And I'm like, no, I want to share with the world. No, thank you. There's another storm coming, but it's supposed to hit like down towards Texas area. So if you live in Texas, just a heads up, you might want to start prepping now because y'all supposed to get hit again next week. Y'all supposed to get hit again next week. Whatever this heat wave is that we're having is pushing the storms further south. And so instead of us getting hit, it's hitting places like Houston, Texas, and all those places that are down below us. And I'm like, I'm not mad about it. I'm just going to sit in my house and drink my coffee and stare out the window like, boy, what nice weather we're having today. So yeah, so it's been a weekend here at the coffee house. Last weekend, I don't know if I told you guys in last week's video, but last weekend Maggie comes to me when I finish live. Now take it, remember, Mr. Coffee was off Saturday. Mr. Coffee was sitting in the living room Saturday. He wasn't playing D&D or anything. He was just sitting there. And Maggie waits until I get off stream. She comes up to me and she's like, Mom. I'm like, yes, Maggie. And she's like, the sink's broken. Wait, what? What? Why is the sink broken? She goes, I don't know. It wasn't me. I'm like, okay, that's the first indicator that it was Maggie because she said it wasn't her. So I was like, okay. So I go into the bathroom, go to turn the faucet on, and it's like it wants to turn on, but it won't. And so I was like, oh, well, how'd you do that? And she's like, Mom, it wasn't me. I'm like, all right, Shaggy. So of course I talked to maintenance, and maintenance came in Thursday to look at it. No, yeah. Okay, so this was like the week before last, because they came in Thursday to look at it, said that they would be back the next day, and then they showed up 10 minutes ago to fix it. So it took them that long to fix it, and it was a 2-second fix, not even gonna lie. Apparently there was an O-ring that got loose in the handle of the sink, of the faucet, and that's what caused it to not turn on. So they fixed the O-ring and was like, oh, there you go, it's all done. And I'm like, what was that it? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I am so sorry to have wasted your time. And they're like, no, it's not a waste of time at all. You know, that's what, you pay for with your rent. You pay for it to make sure that your stuff is working properly. And I always feel bad when I have to call maintenance for stuff. Also, can we talk about that for a second? Let's talk about, like, if you live in an apartment or something and you have to call maintenance. What is the protocol for when maintenance comes in your house? Please help. Because I feel like a stalker. Because anytime maintenance comes into my house, I'm like on his back. I'm breathing down his neck and I'm like, I want to see what you're doing. What are you doing down there, little fella? Like, I don't know why. I feel weird just leaving them there because what if they have a question? But I feel like a stalker if I follow them because they're probably like, why the hell is she like following me? So I don't know what the proper protocol is for when maintenance comes into your apartment and has to fix something. Like, do you follow them? Do you just let them go on their own? What is the proper protocol for this? Because I don't apparently know how to adult. So I'm like lost, and I'm like, Lord, please don't let this guy think I'm weird because I keep following him around the house. Like, he would go to the kitchen, I would walk to the kitchen. He would go back to the bathroom, I would walk to the bathroom. And he's just like looking at me, and I'm like, hi. Also, I was super excited because I found the topper cleaning my craft room up. I found the topper to my drill tray. So right now, I am currently in the process of revamping my craft room. And I'm mostly revamping because It's time for an upgrade. It's time for an upgrade for a lot of the stuff that I have. I want to get rid of my drafting table. I don't like it. I know a lot of diamond painters really love drafting tables. I hate my drafting table. There's nothing about this table that is at all comfortable. And I don't know about anybody else. But I do not like my drafting table. Why don't I like it? The drafting table that I currently have, I've had because my dad bought it for me, and I'm very grateful that he bought it for me. It will be getting passed down to Maggie. But I'm grateful that he bought it for me because at the time I could have used it when I was like seriously into diamond painting. I don't diamond paint as much, honestly, anymore. Like I literally diamond paint on video. I diamond paint on stream sometimes, but if I'm not streaming or anything, I'm not diamond painting. It's not a thing that I do right now that I find enjoyable off camera. On camera, I'm having a blast. Off camera, I'm like, nah, I'm all right. I can do something else. So I don't typically diamond paint too often, like off camera anymore. It's just not my vibe. I've transitioned on to other things. And that happens in crafting. Sometimes that, you know, it's not even necessarily burnout. You're transitioning on to other things. Like you transition on to other crafts that maybe you've done before or new ones that you've learned or want to learn. So yeah, which by the way, we're going to be revamping the how to diamond paint video this week. So just a heads up there. And you know your girl is feeling back to her normal self because I got my nails back on. But no, I've been going through and getting rid of and cleaning up my craft room because we're revamping the craft room. I want the craft room to be more of a cozier space and less like an office. The office setting, I think, is affecting me, and I don't like it. It makes me feel like anytime I'm sitting back here, I'm working. And I don't want it to be like that. I want my craft space to be a cozy area, okay? I want it to be an area that I can come back and relax and do whatever it is I want to do, especially on those nights where Mr. Coffee's playing D&D and I don't want to listen to it. Look, listen, I love my husband to death, and I understand that D&D is his thing right now, and he's in the season. This is the season for him for D&D, and that's fine. I don't want to hear about it because I don't understand a word about it, and it makes absolutely zero sense to me. And he's tried explaining it to me, and it sounds like the most boring thing on the planet. So I was like, nah, homie, I'm good. You enjoy your time with your D&D. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. The one day he literally sat me there for 2 hours explaining to me every like little detail in the game, and I'm like, sir, I'd rather bite off my own foot than continue listening to this. I'm sorry. I love you, but please, God, no. Please, no more. This is what do they call it when they like torture for like war crimes and stuff? I feel like that. Like it's like that water dripping on your forehead thing. Like I can't do it. I don't want to hear about D&D. I don't know anything about it. It makes no sense to me, and I'm just like, no sir. So on those days, right, I need a nice cozy area that I can sit in. And where it's nice and I can sit back here in my craft room, there's no comfy chair for me to sit back here in my craft room. I have my nook, but my nook has 2 stools. The stools are padded, so that's nice, but there's no back to them, okay? There's no back to them. My back needs support, okay? So I was like, okay, so I can't really sit there comfortably. And then my gamer chair is great. I need a new gamer chair, though, because it's doing that weird thing, because it's been so long since I've had it. It's been almost 3 years since I got that chair, and it's doing that thing where the seat starts slowly going down like an elevator, and I'll be sitting there diamond painting, and I'll notice that my arms are getting higher and higher up, and I'm like, what is happening? And then before I realize it, I'm sitting on the floor, and I'm like, hello? So I was like, wait, I haven't gained weight. What's wrong with my chair? Mr. Coffee's like, sometimes chairs do that after, you've worn them out, and you do sit back there a lot. And I was like, you right? So I don't want to upgrade the gaming chair just yet, because I literally just bought a nice little recliner seat for back here, and it's due in today. I'm super excited, by the way. I'm super excited. Nice little recliner chair so that I have a spot that I can sit in. If I want to bring over a table and diamond paint, I can. If I want to crochet, I can. Because if you were on my social media, you would have saw a post that I finished a crocheted beanie this weekend. So one of the things that Maggie used to love that I used to do was make them crocheted items when we lived in PA. I was always crocheting. So I would make her and Orion crocheted items. But then when we moved to North Dakota, I stopped doing it, which makes absolutely no sense, seeing as how it's colder here than it is in Pennsylvania. But for some reason, I stopped making crocheted items. I think it's just because I lost my clientele and I had done it so much that I had burnt out on it and I didn't want to do it anymore. So I was looking for something else to preoccupy my time, which is what happened the last time I quit crocheting, was that I got enamored into other crafts and then went right back to crocheting, which is what I'm feeling is happening now because, like I said, I don't typically diamond paint off camera anymore. It's not something I do. It's not something that I do just out of the blue. I'm like, oh, I feel like diamond painting. That is never a thought that crosses my mind whenever I'm off camera. When I'm on camera, oh yeah, I want to diamond paint with my friends. Off camera, nah, I'll draw, I'll cross stitch, I'll crochet. I don't want to diamond paint because diamond painting means I have to sit in my room in one of the uncomfortable chairs and then I'm there for however long it takes me to finish that session. So like these diamond paintings that seems like it's taking me forever to get through. It's not like it's taking me forever. It's just that I'm not working on them off camera. So you're literally only seeing them worked on camera. Like I could pull footage of me working on them and make an entire time lapse of me completing kits start to finish because that's the only time I work on them is on camera. So my season for diamond painting, I feel like it's changing. And where I don't mind like still doing like the unboxings and stuff, I probably won't be doing as much diamond painting anymore. Not unless I get the urge to do it. Like now I have the urge, like whenever I do like my whip and chats, something about diamond painting and a whip and chat goes together like peanut butter and jelly for me. So I love diamond painting when I whip and chat because I feel like I get more done versus if I was sitting here just by myself with nothing, right? So let's see, I got finished with all those. So I'm not diamond painting as much, but I have started getting back into crocheting again, which is great because we're going to get some crochet tutorials going. But before we get the crochet tutorials going, I got to revamp my how to diamond paint videos. I have a pocket guide. If you're new here, hi, welcome in. My name is Miss Coffee. Hopefully you're doing well. I have to revamp my how to diamond paint video because I don't ever want the knowledge that I have obtained over the last few years to go without being able to share it with the folks that, you know, are trying to learn how to diamond paint. Just remember, like always, this craft is it can be very expensive because you do want to tend to hoard all the good images. And you can get caught up in the hype to the point where then you're like, what have I done? And you kind of have that like remorse because you have such a huge stash or you're spending more time doing that than hanging with family and stuff. You just got to find a nice balance with it. But I would like to make sure that this is not to say that I'll never diamond paint again because you will definitely still see me diamond painting. But just because it's easier for me to diamond paint and do like whip and chats and stuff like that versus like crocheting and stuff because I have to pay attention to like the stitches and everything. Like I can do it live, but doing it during a whip and chat, I have to be quiet for a little bit of time. And I don't like that because it makes it feel weird because it's just like dead air. And then all of a sudden I start talking again. So like I've been crocheting a lot off camera. I've made a pattern already. Like I'm like really back into it. I've already made another beanie pattern. This is something I used to love to do when I did crochet was I would randomly like get some stitch. I would pick 2 stitches and then use those 2 stitches to create a pattern that I really liked. Now the problem was I never wrote them down because I didn't know how to write patterns and gauging and all that other fun stuff. I never really learned that because remember I'm self-taught with pretty much everything that I do. So the knowledge that you're getting is knowledge that I learned because I learned it like from whatever I learned how to do it on my own or like essentially just like self-teaching myself. So I do want to revamp those videos and I still will be doing unboxings and stuff because I still like, you know, I still vibe with DAC. So like I'm still going to be doing unboxings and stuff. And I said I wasn't going to do any boxes next month and then they hit me with one that I was like, ugh. Okay, never mind. So I'll still do unboxings and stuff, But just a heads up, you know, if you happen to notice that I haven't made any progress since the last video or something, it's because I'm only doing them on camera now. So, and it's been like that for a while, if you haven't guessed it. A lot of people have, and some people haven't. Plus, lately, I've been going through a little bit of a bout of depression. Let's talk about it real quick. Just a quick trigger warning. I'm going to be talking about my mental health. It's not anything horrendous or anything, but I just want to give you the trigger warning in case, you know, you don't want to hear mental health stuff. If you don't, just fast forward a little bit. It's like I said, it's not bad, but I've been going through a bout of depression. This happens, of course, because I'm unmedicated, so I don't take medication for my bipolar disorder. And there are times where I will just get really sad. And it's not about anything, one thing in particular. It can be about a bunch of things. It can be about a little bit of things. And so I've been dealing with depression. Now, one way you can tell if Miss Coffee is depressed, if you've noticed for a while, I don't wear nails. And the reason for that is because while I'm depressed, I'm super anxious. And I will claw at my face. And where I don't typically show my face on YouTube too much, my Patreons see my face all the time. But here on YouTube or on Twitch, you don't typically see my face. That's typically, it's kind of a choice thing. It's not really for any particular reason. I mean, minus the fact that I get a little self-conscious because of after the stroke that I had, every once in a while, the one side of my face will act a little weird. And so, like, it'll start twitching, and I don't like that. So to keep people from asking why is my face making that weird face or whatnot, I don't show my face. Other than that, like I said, my Patreons see it, no problem. And that's just because I know they're not random people on the internet, because the number of times I've been asked to stop wearing nails because they're too distracting to other people and everything else. I can't deal with that, you know, on the channel. So I choose to not show my face too often. And so, like, I had my nails off for a little bit there, and I was like, why do I feel like I don't want to wear my nails? Like, and I thought at first it was just because the game I like to play, I need my keyboard, and it's a little difficult to navigate the keyboard with the nails on. So I was like, maybe it's because of the nails, or that's why I don't want to wear them. And then I realized that's not it. And it's always a guessing game for me as to why am I depressed this time. So after reviewing the tapes, if you will, and looking and reflecting on a few things, I noticed that the depression was coming from the kids. Now, don't worry, the kids aren't doing anything wrong. The kids are doing just fine, by the way. They're currently at school. This has been, we are on our second full week of the kids riding the school bus. They absolutely love it. And that's what had me depressed. That's the part that had me depressed, because if you've been here for a while, my kids, when we first moved from PA to North Dakota, I was driving my kids to school every day. Literally for the last 5 years, I've been the one taking them back and forth. And so, as of like a week and a half ago, they started riding the bus. Now, I was driving them up the street here to the dog park, which is literally 20 steps from my house, but I would drive them to the opposite end of the dog park and sit and wait for the bus to show up. And then they had requested that they be able to walk up and stand with their friends outside until the bus came. But we have this cool app. And on the app, it tells you exactly where the bus is, okay? It tells you down to the precise minute as to when that bus is getting to you. Apparently, I'm dropping drills. So, it's not like they would have to stand out there for a long period of time. And I don't know if any other people watching this have this app. But it literally, if you have kids and they ride the bus, what it does is it shows you a map of all the stops that the bus takes. And then your stop is, of course, lit up. And once the bus is within like a minute of your house, if you have your child at the bus stop, before that minute is over, usually you'll see the bus coming. So that's the app that we have currently for the kids riding the bus. It tells me that, and not only that, when they get on the bus driver has like a tablet that sits on the side over here, and she goes, name, and then she taps on the names of the students so that on the app, it shows you that your child has gotten onto the bus. Now, when they get to the school, she then will click the names off to make sure that all the students got off of the bus, and you know that the kids got to the school okay. Love this app. Probably the best thing for my mental health was the fact that they gave us this app, and I don't have to guess when the freaking bus is coming. So it's a blessing in disguise that, you know, the kids are on the bus, because like I still have that little bit of security that they're going to be okay. And the bus drivers here, they know how to drive. Like, they know how to drive. They're driving buses, for goodness sake. So they're going to know how to drive a little bit better than me, and I'm not going to have to feel anxious all the time. But the problem is not the fact that they're riding the bus. It's the fact that I feel I'm at that point with the kids now that I feel like I'm not needed as much anymore. And it makes me sad, where I love watching my kids grow up and become more independent, and I can see their personalities blossoming every day. It's still a little sad to me. Like, Orion is growing up way too fast, and I don't know how to handle it. Like, I got depressed when he turned, 11 or 12? And I can feel the depression setting in, and then I realized also Orion's birthday is in 2 weeks. Orion will be turning 13 this year. So where I already have a teenager, remember that teenager does not live here. So I got to kind of bypass a little bit the teenage stage because she was living with her dad. And because of that, she would call me to let me know how much she hated her dad because, you know, teenagers. And I'm like, why do you hate your dad today? And she's like, because he fussed at me because I had dishes in my room. Why are you eating in your room? Like, why do you have half their kitchenware in your room? And then I'd have to, like, explain to her why her dad is upset to calm her down. And then I'm like, now go apologize to your dad, because I don't need him fussing because you up there, like, you know, fussing with him about plates in your room when they're not supposed to be up there anyway. So I got to, you know, experience teenagers, but in a different way. And now this is going to be my first time, like, hands-on dealing with a teenager. And y'all, for those folks who have kids, for those folks who have boys, how are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? No, seriously, are you okay? I am not okay. I am not okay. Y'all, this kid comes to me last night, looks me straight in my face. Now, if you remember, a couple of months ago, school started. School started, what? September something, I guess. They've been in school for, what, September, October, November, December. Well, it was the end of August, but we're going to say September, October, November, December, January. 5 months. 5 months, okay? 5 months. Y'all remember when the kids started school and I was like, you guys, Orion is wearing a size 11 men. Y'all. Orion puts on his tennis shoes yesterday and he goes, well, these are a little tight. And I'm like, why are they a little tight? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, they feel really, not really tight, but tight enough that it was a little bit uncomfortable for him. And I was just like, are these the shoes from last year or something? And he goes, Mom, we donated those. And I was like, oh, then why are these tight then? And he was just like, I don't know. Y'all, Mr. Coffee pulls out he has a pair of these like Timberland tennis shoe boots, and he doesn't wear them very often, but Orion's always liked them. So I was like, oh, okay, do me a favor, dude, try these on. So I have him try on a pair of Mr. Coffee's size 12s. Now, Mr. Coffee does not fit a size 12 anymore. Mr. Coffee is now a 13. He's been a 13 probably since he moved out here. And so he has these size 12s that pretty much were like brand new. He just didn't want to get rid of them for some reason. And I'm glad he didn't, because they fit Orion perfectly right now. And I'm like, dear God, have you gone up a whole shoe size in 5 months? Y'all, I don't know how to deal. I don't know how to deal. Parenting does not come with a handbook, and I'm doing the best that I can. But mentally, I I am crying. I am screaming. I'm like, what is happening with my child? Who is this human in my house? Why does he keep eating all my food? I'm not even joking you. The other night, I'm sitting there. Mr. Coffee and I are cleaning up the kitchen. We're talking about stuff. And he comes in and he's like, I'm going to go walk the dogs. And I was like, okay. So he goes to walk the dogs. He comes back. He goes upstairs. He comes downstairs. Now take it. We clean up the kitchen at like 7. He comes down at 10. Can I get something to eat? I'm hungry. Wait, what? Wait. What do you mean you're hungry still? Like, you ate half a pot roast. What do you mean you're hungry? Why are they so hungry? Why is he eating everything? And I'm sitting there as I'm like cleaning off the table, and I look over at Mr. Coffee, and Mr. Coffee's just like looking at me. Mr. Coffee, when it comes to this, Mr. Coffee acts like he has no clue what it's like to be a teenage boy. Okay? Mr. Coffee is sitting there acting like, I don't know why he's so hungry. I'm like, I need to talk to your mama, because were you like this? Like, and my mother-in-law, God love her, she had 3 boys. 3 of them. I could not imagine. Now, I know Maggie's coming right behind Orion. They're only like 17, 18 months apart, something like that. They're like a year and some change apart. Not too far apart. So I know it's coming with Maggie. But I can barely get through it with Orion, okay? I am barely getting through it with Orion. The way my grocery bill has doubled again. I'm like, I need to get a part-time job just to feed this kid. What are they eating? Concrete? Why is he always so hungry? I don't understand. I do not remember doing this with my parents. I understand the hiding thing. Maggie has started doing the hibernation thing. So she'll get home from school. She'll be like, I'm tired. She'll go upstairs, go in her room. She'll make a bunch of paper dragons, make a huge mess, and then pass out in the carnage, okay? So she's getting into that hibernation stage. And I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this. Sweet Lord, are girls as hungry as boys? Because right now, Maggie's doing a lot better with eating since that tooth came out. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it was deferred pain because she hasn't complained a single day since that tooth fell out. And I'm wondering if that tooth is the one that was causing her all the pain that she had been, pretty much dealing with. Now, I didn't talk to, but I left a message at the dentist's office yet again, asking them what's taking the doctor so long. They have no clue. The doctor doesn't work in their office. It's another doctor that travels to this area. And so they're not sure what's taking them so long to look and review her records. And they're like, just try to make her as comfortable as possible. We apologize for the delay. And I'm like, delay? I'm like, it took us 2 months to get her the 3D x-ray, and now here we going on a month since she had the x-ray done, and nobody has said anything. So it's been a roller coaster of emotions here, because in one sense, I love the fact that Orion's getting older. He's getting taller. I want to say he's about 5'8" right now, which is weird because just a few months ago, he was 5'6". And so, like, if nothing else, he's growing. He's definitely growing. It's just at such a very vast rate. Now, on Mr. Coffee's side, Mr. Coffee's probably the tallest, like, of him and his brothers. He's the tallest of his brother and sister. He's the tallest of them, okay? So then Orion is getting, from what I can gather, Orion is getting his height from my side of the family. And my side of the family are a bunch of freaking Sasquatches, okay? My dad's side of the family is a bunch of Sasquatches. We are tall. We got some weight on us. We like to call it big boned. Where you're in that middle section. You're not overweight just yet, but you got some meat on you. You got enough meat on you to keep you warm. So, like, he's getting to that, he's taking that over, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, I want to call my parents, like, every day and be like, how did y'all do this with 6 kids in the house? What is wrong with you? Now, every time I see a parent with multiple boys or something, my first thought is, what's wrong with you? You chose to do this again? Look, listen, this ain't for the weak. I'm telling you this right now. And my mental health has been suffering, okay? So Orion recently also got a haircut. When he got the haircut, it made him look like he was 17. And all he did was get a simple haircut. The same haircut he gets every time we take him to go get his haircut. Same haircut. But for some reason, this time when he got the haircut, it made him look so much older. And I'm like, what happened to my baby? And of course, here comes Facebook. Oh, you want to be in your feels? Here's some memories from a few years ago. And Facebook always is there to remind me that it's one of the kids' birthdays because I'll get the memories that pop up. And I'm like, it was a memory of Orion, and he was standing in a pair of Mr. Coffee's boots, which are the ones that you've heard me call the boffins. And real quick in the video, we are at that point in the video where we're going to talk about the mystery box. Now, if you're gotten this far in the video, congratulations. You're about to hear about the mystery box. What's the mystery box? You're probably wondering if you've never been here before. The mystery box is a mystery. You don't know what's going to be in there. Now, the mystery box is going to contain diamond painting accessories, okay? It's going to be accessories of any and all kinds. You're going to get trays. You're going to get washi tape, possibly. You're going to possibly get wax. It's a mystery. It's a mystery what's in this box. Now, I don't typically do giveaways or stuff like that on the channel like this. And so for the mystery box and stuff like this, I typically just do regular videos and then I talk about it somewhere in between. So the mystery box, what it is I literally fill up a box. I tell you how much the box weighs. I then measure it, and or after I measure it, I give you a total for how much it's going to cost to ship to you. If you're willing to pay that price, you get the mystery box. If not, the mystery box goes to the next person that's willing to get it. So for this video, we are going to have you tell me what your current project is. You're just going to write a comment in the comment section that says, I'm working on, for me, it would be, I'm working on Celebration Roxy. It's a 50 by 50 round with this many ABs. You don't have to tell me how many ABs or anything in it. Just tell me the name of the kit and the size of the kit. Write it down in the comment section. And what's going to happen is, in about a week's time, I'm going to do a random comment picker. And then if the random comment picker picks your comment, I'm going to contact you via Facebook or Instagram, depending on, usually it's Instagram. If you're in my Discord, I will contact you via Discord. When I contact you, I'm going to tell you the size of the box, like how much it weighs. And then I'm going to get some information from you and tell you how much it's going to cost to ship to you. And if you're willing to pay the shipping, you will get the box. So for this mystery box, you're just going to tell me the size and the name of the kit that you're currently working on. Good luck. Now, we're going to go back to talking about how big Orion is because this is really baffling me. So, yeah, so after he got his haircut, and until Orion, he's just living his life. But then, like, his shoes aren't fitting as well. His clothes aren't fitting as well, so we're having to go out and buy it. I literally just went out and bought him a new pair of Crocs for Christmas. That sounds like a holiday show. Like, that sounds like a Hallmark movie, a Crocs for Christmas. But he literally just got Crocs for Christmas. And his tennis shoes that he was wearing beforehand are feeling a little bit tighter. And he comes downstairs the other day and he goes, Mom. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And he goes, I have a question about something. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking this is it. He's going to question me about girls. I'm not ready, but I'll tell him anything I need to tell him. Okay, dude, lay it on me. What is it? He goes, what do I have to do to get a new bed? And I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? He goes, what do I have to do to get a new bed? I'm like, a new bed? What? Why do you need a new bed? Now take it. The kids are sleeping on bunk beds right now. So, well, technically they're broken apart bunk beds. So I bought them new beds like 4 or 5 years ago. I want to say it was like 4 years ago. I bought them a bunk bed set. And I took it apart and gave Maggie the top bunk part because it has the rail on it so she wouldn't fall out of the bed. And then Orion got the bottom bunk part. So these are 2 twin size beds. Problem is, the twin size bed is getting smaller and smaller by the day for Orion. And he's like, what do I have to do to get a new bed? Because my bed is getting to be too small. And I was like, we'll look into getting you a new bed. Now, these are expenses that I wasn't planning on because we have a trip coming up. And so we're trying to save up for this trip. But at the rate that Orion's growing, I'm going to need to get a part-time job to keep up because I can't. I'm struggling here. So I'm like, okay. So that night when I go up there to check on him, I check to see like how he's laying in bed and how it fits him and stuff like that. Y'all, literally, I give it another month and he literally will not fit in this bed. He's that tall. And I'm like, oh my God. So I immediately talked to Mr. Coffee and was like, look, we got to get the kids new beds because Maggie's even getting to that point where she's getting to the point where she's too tall for the bed. And I'm like, it's time to buy them new beds again. He's like, all right, do you want to go over to Ashley's to go look? And I was like, yes and no. I like Ashley's furniture, but I don't know, something about that furniture, sometimes it's a hit and miss for me. I'm not the biggest fan of the store because I feel like the prices are super high. And not that I'm trying to get everything for cheap, it's just that the prices seem really high. And I was looking on their website and I found a full-size bed, has drawers underneath it and everything, and they wanted $3,000 for it. I found the same, almost the same bed on Amazon for a fraction of that price. And I was just like, here we go. So I went over to Amazon, got Orion a new bed, got him a new mattress. Then it came in and I went, I don't have any bed sheets for this fucking thing. Damn it. So I had to go and get bed sheets for it. So he'll be having his new bed set up this weekend. And I am both scared and frightened because not only is he getting a new bed, but he's also getting a new desk. His desk, because he wants to be streaming and recording and stuff, his desk is too small. He needs something that can hold a second monitor, and the desk he currently has will not. When we bought the desk during the Rona times, because they were homeschooling, we bought them each a desk, and the desk is too small for what he wants to do. And since I'm revamping my craft room, I told him that he could have one of my L-shaped desks. So the way my craft room is, one, think of your living room if it was a craft room. That's my craft room. So the house we live in had 2 living rooms, and we just transitioned one from a living room to a craft room. So this is like where I do all my crafting and stuff back here. And so I have 2 L-shaped desks, my drafting table and my book nook back here as surfaces for me to, do stuff on. Now, typically they just collect clutter. So I was like, why don't we just give him one of my L-shaped desks and I find another desk because I've been wanting a lifted desk. And Mr. Coffee's like, this is a lot of money that you're sinking into this. And I've been saving up my money from both platforms just because, tax time is coming as well. Like there's so much stuff happening and going on that, I've been saving up my money because every little dime that I get right now has been put towards the trip and trying to buy tickets, trying to get the boarding stuff set up, trying to get, money for us to spend and have on. And I'm not doing it by myself. So, like, in my brain, I want to be able to fund the trip by myself if need be. Like, if there's an emergency and I have to, I can fund it by myself. So I've been saving literally every penny that I get. Until recently when I was like, I want to upgrade my office. I want to have a comfy chair in my office that I can sit in and relax and crochet or do whatever. I want a nice desk in my office because I hate my drafting table. I do not like it. I've never used it. I've never used it as it's intended for. And drafting tables are used for artists. So when artists are like drawing or painting or what have you, it lifts up for that reason. But of course, because you're diamond painting, you're pretty much doing the same motion. So it just became a thing in the diamond painting community to have a drafting table. Now, I will be giving my drafting table to Maggie because Maggie's our little Miss Crafter now. She likes to make these little paper dragons and things out of paper. She's very, very innovative when it comes to stuff like that. So, like, I want to give her the drafting table because then she can lift it up and down, and I won't lose all the cool stickers I have on it, and she loves stickers, and she won't have a reason to put any more stickers on it because it's already covered in stickers. But then one of the L-shaped desks I want to give to Orion, and we're going to get rid of their desk because they are cheap and they are falling apart at this point. So it's just time to get rid of them. So I told Mr. Coffee, I was like, look, I've saved up this much money, and I want to spend... I think grand total, I spent $600 out of the money that I had saved up to upgrade, do a couple of upgrades to my office. But the upgrades to my office aren't just to benefit me, it's also to benefit the kids as well. So the kids will be getting new desk, and I will be getting a new desk. So I'm getting a new lifting table desk, because the table lifts up and down. I found one that I really, really like, and so I decided that that's what I'm going to have for my office, because then whenever I'm streaming over on Twitch, I do stream for a very long time, and sitting in one spot like that is not good for your back. And so I wanted something where I could stand up if I wanted to. I just got a walking pad, and I would like to be able to walk and do work if I want to. The walking pad, by the way, is fabulous. If you ever are interested in getting one, check out Deer Run. D-E-E-R-R-U. Is it D-E-E-R-U-N or D-E-E-R-R-U-N? Just check out Deer Run. Look up Deer Run. They have walking pads, and they are fabulous. I absolutely love it. So I'm like, I want a stand-up table just because it's going to be better. And for what I'm doing, it's an investment, but it's going to be better for me overall because I'm going to be more comfortable whenever I'm streaming or doing videos. And I don't necessarily have to sit down because I don't like sitting down so much, which is the reason why I got the walking pad in the first place, is because I get stir crazy, and Mr. Coffee knew this. I get stir crazy sitting in the house all the time, and where I am a hermit, I very much like to go out and just walk. So when it's nicer outside and it's not, everything covered in snow, I will take the dogs out and we will go walking around the block a couple of times. And I can't do that. And I think that was part of the reason why I was feeling so gross and depressed and everything else, is because I'm not as physically active as I want to be. And because of that, it's causing me to be depressed because, I'm not a depressed eater. I'm a depressed, I don't want to eater, meaning I won't eat. Like, I'll just forget to eat. And so Mr. Coffee was just like, let's get you something that can keep you active while you're in the house, even when it's snowing outside. So he had pre-ordered this like a while ago, and it came in the other day, and I tried it out for the first time on Sunday. And like I said, it is freaking fabulous. I absolutely love it. So now I can be active in the house, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm feeling better, is because I am moving around, I am being active, and I can stand there and watch TV or watch Twitch or whatever it is that I'm doing, and I'm not just sitting there. I feel like I'm actually doing something, and not only that, I'm taking care of myself by working out, and it doesn't feel like a workout because I'm walking, and I've always loved walking. So it was a win-win, and the upgrades are going to better my mental health tremendously right now. So with that, like I said, Orion's going to be getting an upgrade, but the problem is that Orion's getting an upgrade, and he already has a second screen for his computer, and he has a second screen for his computer. And the thing is, is he's going to need new clothes. He's going to need new this. And Mr. Coffee's like, this is why we're always broke. And I'm like, you right. You right. I don't even like shopping. I'm not a shopping person. Do you like to shop? I'm not a shopping person. Like, I know it's weird for a woman to not like flowers, and I don't. To not like to shop, and I hate it. But I'm very much that person. I'm very much that person that does not like to shop. I do not like to do normal things that, typically you would associate with being a woman, which is shopping and Starbucks and all. I'm not that type of gal. No offense if you are that type of gal. That's fine. Live your best life. Yeah, I mean, do your thing. As Brad Mondo would say, live your extra life. But I'm not that type of person. I'm very much a stay at home and, do stuff around the house type person. And I like I said, I've talked to Mr. Coffee about possibly getting a part-time job. And he doesn't like the idea of me having to get a part-time job because he knows how I get and how I have a problem with working, and I become a workaholic. And because of this, I will then go from part-time to full-time, and then social media will be gone, and then I'll just be focusing on the job that I have. And especially now that I'm a little bit older and I can use my degree to get a job, and it's like a decent paying job, not like, you know, just something out here that's minimum wage. So, he doesn't necessarily want me to go back to work in the regular workforce. Plus my patience, what patience? As I get older, the more foxes I don't have to give are just dwindling fast. And so I don't have the patience for customer service anymore. I just don't. I can barely handle my comment section half the time. And a lot of the times I'll see a comment that is not necessarily favorable, or people say something out of pocket and they're just like, you shouldn't do this, or you're doing this wrong. And, you know, that makes me want to like snap out and immediately flip out on people. And then I have to stop myself like, no, you can't just be out here flipping out on people for no reason. So it's going to help my mental health. It's going to help my mental health. It's going to make my crafting time, my crafting space feel more like that and not like work. And I feel like a lot of what I've done lately over the last few months has been more so work and not so much out of enjoyment. And so I want to get back to that. And I feel like a little bit of a facelift to my craft room will help. So we're gonna, like, I've been deep cleaning the crap out of my craft room, like decluttering, getting rid of a bunch of stuff, which is another reason why we're doing the magical giveaway. But decluttering a lot of stuff, getting rid of stuff that I don't want and or need, which I still have to go through some of my art supplies to get rid of those because I have a crap ton of those as well. So yeah, so it's been a process, and I've been feeling a little bit better and better about it every day. I've gotten, I got one of the desks cleared and two of the stacked up shelves cleared. I still have a couple of other things that I need to clear out. I have markers and stuff that I need to like organize and everything else, but it's getting there and I'm feeling better about it every day. The problem is I don't always have the energy every day to clean up another section of the craft room. So, like this morning, I cleaned off one of the desks, and after I did that, I was spent. I was like, I am done. I don't want to do anything else. I'm good. So it's finding the energy to do it. And the problem is this stuff is coming in soon. So like I said, Orion's bed's already here. My chair is here, which will be getting set up today, which is nice because Mr. Coffee has D&D tonight. And the chair not only benefits me, it also benefits for like when little Maggie is back here while I'm streaming. She has a place to sit because right now she just kind of sits on the floor and plays with the dogs, which is fine. But I would like to have a spot back here that makes it a little bit more cozy, gives it more of a like cozy aesthetic to it, and not just like it looks like a storage room that somebody just shoved me in. And I work in an office or something. Like, I don't want to make it my office feel like an office. So upgrading and doing stuff like that to the office, I feel like it's going to make me feel a lot better about the area and space that I'm in and, you know, the crafting that I'm doing. So I'm excited to do the upgrades to the office because I've not done any upgrading to this office in God knows how long. Just rearranging and getting like a new outlook on the space that I call my office. It's still my office. It's just I want a facelift for it. So I'm excited for that. I'm not excited that Orion's eating all my food. He put down 7 tacos the other day. Meanwhile, I ate 2 and was like, wow, I'm stuffed. And he's just going. And I'm like, you ate an entire box of taco shells, dude. You good? Like, are you okay? Sir, are you okay? Like, I can't believe that he's getting big fast, and he is growing up to this tiny little human, And he's doing teenage stuff, so he has been getting in a little bit of trouble at school and on the bus already. He's already gotten in trouble. On the bus, he got in trouble for having his leg in the aisle. And then in school, he's doing like stupid stuff, like he wouldn't keep his phone away, so his teacher kept taking his phone. So he's getting into those teen years, and where it's amazing to watch him grow and learn and become this tiny little from a tiny human to a bigger human. It's still hard. It's still hard for me to picture my kids not needing me as much anymore and stuff like that. So like, I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm working through it. And I'm sure at the end of the day, as long as I raise, and this is my main goal, is to raise responsible, respectful humans, and to make sure that they're more prepared for life than I was. And that's all I can really hope for, is that when they get older, that they're healthy and happy, and they don't have to live with a lot of the stuff that like I have to live with when it comes to like mental health and stuff. And the good thing is, like I said, with Orion's school that he currently goes to, they kind of have a counselor that talks to them at the end of the day to ask them how they're feeling, and if they're feeling any different type of way about things. And then if the child is having any issues, they'll call the parents in to have like a one-on-one sit down with the student and the parent so that they can all come to a resolution, which I thought was nice, because sometimes you need that mediation between parents and kids, because the disconnect there can be astonishing. You'd be surprised. So far, the therapist says he's a very well-rounded kid. He still is very shy, which, Orion's always been a shy kid. He's still very shy when it comes to like meeting new people and doing new things, but for the most part, like he does pretty good. So he's doing well. Maggie's doing well. She's reading a lot more. She's getting more into crafting and doing things craft related. She wants to be like mommy, which, is something that I'm super proud of, is the fact that she sees what I do and she wants to do that. She wants to do crafting things. She wants to make things. The problem is there was a little incident that happened this weekend that had me a little bit in my feels. So I was sitting there, and like I said, when I'm off camera, I don't diamond paint anymore because I'm trying to spend more time with the family, and I don't like to sit there and have my nose stuffed down into a diamond painting while they're trying to talk to me or whatnot. Not that it's impossible, it's just not something that I want to do. And she asked me, why don't I make her stuff anymore? And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, you used to make me like hats and stuff. Maggie's favorite thing is a crocheted beanie. She loves crocheted beanies. She always has. And so when we moved, I stopped making them because I got into diamond painting. And I told her that I would make her a beanie. And she's like, okay. And she didn't seem like she believed me when I said I was going to make it for her. So I went ahead I started it on Friday. I finished it up on Saturday. And I gave it to her, and she was happy as a little pig in mud. She was so excited about this beanie, y'all. She has not taken this beanie off yet. That's the problem. That is the problem. She's scared that I'm not going to make her anymore. So I told her, I promised her that I would come up with a pattern just for her. I'll even name it after her. I will make her more beanies. So I got to make her a new beanie. But after I make Orion's beanie, because Orion, also, why are teenagers allergic to jackets? Why is that a thing? By the way, ADHD just all over the place. Why are teenagers allergic to jackets? Why is this something that happens? We finished another section. Because Orion seems to be allergic to warm and would like to be outside in -degree temperatures with no jacket on. And Crocs and socks. Make it make sense. So like it's just a big transition because the kids they're growing up and stuff. But I feel like my mental health is in a rocky place right now, and I feel like a little bit of a change of scenery, getting some of this clutter, like getting some of this clutter from around me, because having a clean environment can also boost your mental health, especially if you live or if you're surrounded by a lot of clutter. And I have clutter from years and years of doing YouTube. So I have collected and obscured a lot of things that I now am like, it's time to start like passing some of this stuff on to others who might not be fortunate enough to get it, which is why we're going to be doing the mystery boxes. We will have an art mystery box as well, where there will be like markers or color pencils given away. So look out for that if you're into the arts. So yeah, like that's been that. But don't worry, my mental health, I feel a lot better. Because I do go to therapy like 2 or 3 times a week, depending on how bad the week has been. I do go to therapy, and talking it out and stuff like that really does help. So if you're someone debating therapy, it does help a lot. So last thing before I go, I'm laying in bed last night, and I tell Mr. Coffee that I'm super duper tired. So like, you know, because usually we're sitting there talking, and he wanted to talk about D&D. And it wasn't just that I didn't want to hear about it last night. I was super exhausted. So I was like, I really want to go, you know, lay down. And he goes, well, you have to go downstairs to, you know, I had forgotten something downstairs. And he goes, you got to go downstairs to go get this thing downstairs. I think it was like my hair cap or one of my vapes or something. And he's like, don't forget to go get your thing. So I was like, oh, okay. Because we had just came upstairs. So I go downstairs. And as I'm downstairs, I start hearing what sounds like somebody breathing. And I'm like, what the hell is that noise? And it just is like someone heavy breathing. And I'm like, what the is that? So I don't know what it is. And it freaked me out a little bit because I was in the dark, right? I'm in the dark. And all I hear is... It sounded like they were almost labored breathing. And I was like, there's somebody in this house. There's somebody in this house. I can't yell because if there's somebody in this house, they're going to jump out at me. Okay. I am scared because what is that noise? And it was in a repetition like somebody was breathing. It was and it didn't stop. It stopped for a few minutes. It sounded like they let out like a little cough or something. And then they kept like doing the breathing thing. And I was just like, what the hell is that? So I very quietly walked back here to my craft room. And I grabbed Betsy. If you know, you know. I grabbed Betsy. And I'm walking around trying to figure out what the hell this noise is. And it's just... And I'm like, oh, I'm about to shoot somebody today. Why are you in my house? Like, what is happening? So I'm walking around. Now take it, I'm in my pajamas, so you're about to get like pew-pewed in with somebody who's wearing like Hello Kitty jammy pants, okay? And I can't find the noise, so eventually I go upstairs and I tell Mr. Coffee, I'm like, there's somebody downstairs. And he kind of looks at me, he goes, what do you mean? And I'm like, I can hear breathing. And he's like, is it you? And I'm like, no, there's something downstairs. And he looks at me and he could tell that I was serious. So he grabs his, you know, Tommy. We're gonna call it Tommy. And he comes downstairs with me and I'm like, listen. And he goes, okay. And you can still hear it. So the first thing he thinks is, okay, maybe it's one of the kids. They've come out of their rooms. They're downstairs. They don't want to get caught or get in trouble for being up so late. So let's just look around. And I was like, don't turn the lights on because if they pop out at me, I'm not responsible for what might happen. So he's like, okay, so we're walking around. And I'm sitting there. And at one point, I thought I heard the sound get louder. Like it was almost behind me or something. And I was like, what is happening? Next thing I know, Mr. Coffee taps on my shoulder. It scares the crap out of me. He goes, I think it's just you. And I was like, excuse me? He goes, just wake up. And I was like, wait, no. Y'all, I wake up and I hear, and I was like, took a deep breath, immediately sent myself into an asthma attack. I was like, and he wakes up and he hands me my inhaler. He goes, are you okay? What happened? Or what's wrong? And I'm like, I had a bad dream. He's like, what's the dream about? And I was like, I heard somebody downstairs. And he's like, there's nobody downstairs. Everything is fine. And I was like, is this a dream? And he's like, what? So I pinch him and he goes, ow. He goes, you're supposed to hurt yourself, not me. And I'm like, oh, well, if you feel pain, then, you know, I don't think I'm dreaming. And so he's like, everything is fine. So I get up and I go check on the kids. And then I start hearing the noise again. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm not asleep now. I'm not asleep this time. And as I go back into my room, I hear it louder. And I was like, okay, he done fell asleep. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's because Mr. Coffee had fallen asleep. That's why I'm hearing this noise. Y'all, the noise was Daisy. She was snoring in the bathroom. Because she's snoring in the bathroom, which is closer to my side of the bed, it was echoing and I could hear it in my sleep. So then when I woke up and heard it again, it's because she was in the bathroom, and it's only stopped because I walked past the bathroom, which alerted Daisy to be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, why are you walking around? But then I guess she knew there was no danger, so she went back to sleep, and that's why I started hearing the noise again. So life's been good here at the coffee house, and we hope you are well also. But that is going to be it for me today. Now, I hope you guys... Now, this whipping chat's going to be going up a little bit later than usual because I have a sneak peek that'll be going up that you would have already seen. If you have not seen it, I'll throw it up in the eye so that you guys can go check it out. The little snack size kit. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the end of the video. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I do one of these. I try to do one of these every week. Sometimes I'm going to be missing the ball because I'm going to be busy, but that's okay because there's tons of them. If you haven't watched them all, there are tons of them filled with all kinds of stories with my family and ADHD rants and all kinds of things. So feel free to go back into the archives of the channel and check out some other whipping chats. I was doing a playlist for a while, and then the playlist kind of stopped. So if you just look at the search bar and click in Miss Coffee Whipping Chat, they'll pop up. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And with that said, I must now bid you adieu. But not for reminding you that it's hard out here in these crafty streets. Please stay safe and always remember to be kind to others because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do, and always stay cool. And whether I see you in YouTube land first or I see you over on Twitch, either way, I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.